dish she was talking about. But it's in French, is that what you said?
Right. No, that's definitely. That's in French.
She said, I'm a roll of life. Who do we look into now? 1994? It's 94.
Yes.
Not that long since she asked for that.
March 3rd. How did you become so proficient in French?
Well, because when I went to the novitiate, see, we did bilingual and I learned French, and then I always liked it even in high school. And then I went to
Trying to get the table, but I found it today.
so hard.
That might just interest you. It says hearty stews and zesty soup. They're recipes that you just might say, gee, I'd like to try that.
Oh, thank you.
So then afterwards I got, I don't know, but I guess I saw it, I did have a proficiency in it. So then I went to I spent 13 years as a general secretary and translating documents and stuff like that. So,
You must have a real ear for the language, so pick it up after your teens. You say that you're best at learning when you're younger.
yeah. Well, I suppose, and see, we learned here in Ontario, we learned grammar very, very well. So I knew all the rules to apply, but I'd never heard a man speaking in my life, about the initiative. I remember the first benediction, almost died when I heard the divine praise in French. I thought, this is it. And I remember the first night that we were there, they took us around we were 84 actually, and they took us around to the different sections. And at one place, I guess, in the community, the mothers were coming ahead. The general counsel, the general reverend mother, the mother general, and her assistants. And one of them, two or three up from me, she spoke English, and she got to me. She spoke French. And I said, I'm Frances McCann, and I'm from West Point. I don't speak one word of French, and I burst out crying.
Oh.
And they asked me my name. They asked me how old I was. I said 17, and this one said, oh, you're only a baby, cry away. I cried from sheer rage.
Oh, no.
But after that, you got used to it. We had to speak French at certain times, and the French sisters had to speak English, so that we had to, kind of learn that.
It's wonderful.
So, but you forget it, perhaps. I don't forget reading it, but I forget speaking it now quite often.
And Clare is bilingual, too.
She used to be. I guess she reads it quickly. She's handled that well.
I worry about her. I didn't realize it's such a bad situation.
They came and put those signs of the storm for her.
What dots?
I'll pass one of these to each of us.
Pardon?
They pass one of those to each of us. You got one?
No,
You get one.
there's not one in there.
Oh,
It's
there isn't.
cardboard.
Oh, she didn't fill it in. I'll let her take that one off. Well, wait, I'll get one.
Never heard that term before.
Don't put it on top of your,
Not on the
not in
corner.
your great-grandparents, for sure.
No, they won't mind.
You're supposed to go to them.
I have the favorite great
I'll come over here.
Michael came, the night that she got her up, this ceremony and all that, he came. He's a nice guy, that Michael.
Yes, he enjoys family very much.
Doesn't he though? Isn't he? And he's very smart. Have two little bits. That's Jerry's Christmas cake. You can only have it. I can't cut it. It just breaks on me.
I'm just going to give this, thank you. She's, one night she was serving that to Jerry and said that It is good if I did make it myself, but he laughed. He said I made it at 30.
Amazing.
Have some, eh?
Mm-hmm. I will.
That's what St. Terence was writing her seed.
Any questions? I have to tell this more, I guess, so.
So Aunt Lucy was she cross most of the time?
Truthfully.
That's what we need. We need the truth.
But exactly. Ooh. And yet, when I got older, I have to say what? She never gets
Would she?
Want to try it?
No, not really.
But we never had a mark on it, so we couldn't do it. And we were scared somehow. But I can understand why. And she was always comparing it to the trainers. Trainers were her first cousins or something. Be her first cousins. They were very gifted. Weren't hot in school,
Is that
but they were very good, practical things.
This is
Really
from
practical.
Mother
Either end or
Cabrini.
south.
The Mother Cabrini
Transfer
Messenger
doesn't take very many minutes.
partner keeping that for?
from 1952. I don't see any
It was
new
kind of
connections.
rough, it really was. And we got money for home.
Being a pack rat, I would never throw it away.
As a second
I
time
said,
they
but
came,
being
and
a pack
she
rat,
had
I would
money,
never throw it away.
They had
I
everything,
would wear
they needed
it.
education, they had clothes.
But did you?
Well, not me.
But anyway, but I understand now what it is there. And I liked it very much when I was teaching there, living at home. In the year before I went to teach college, I was at home, I was writing off my school examinations. That's grade 13. I took them 3 subjects there. And when I'd been on Saturdays, most of Clare would take me special. But I still remember it being so cozy it was in the kitchen, Papa, and we used to make a cup of tea in the afternoon and be sitting around. It was nice and cozy. I really got very, and then she'd always lend me money when I didn't have any money to go to summer school. We were obliged to go to summer school because I only got $500 a year. And I only paid $30 a month, $10 a month for board, which was very much.
But anyway.
But anyhow, at the end of the year, it never was enough to go to summer school.
Something
We
to throw
always
out
lent me money to go. And I remember how hard it was to pay her back, which, when they got your check at the end of the year, you had to pay. So she was very good to her mother. When her mother came to live with us. So I understand. I got to love her very, very much, very much. Oh, come on.
Nothing.
And what color were her eyes?
Hazel.
Hair?
Jimmy had eyes like her, and Eileen had eyes somewhat like hers. Pretty, 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 pretty. Very pretty.
Brown hair or black hair?
Brown hair. Brown hair. Just trim, neat and trim. Very trim. And she was very much in love with them. Why they never got married? I don't think
Not
they
really.
left them to get married. He drove pretty racy cars, she said. But now Ann and I used to get into her trunk and they'd go to Westport on Saturday afternoon and read the love letters. But I don't know what
She
happened.
kept her love letters from the other?
Yeah, from the friend that used to have years before, but when she married Pop, she was very, very, very fond of him. Very crazy about it. That's what happened the first romance, but that might have been just a childhood girlish crush.
Are you getting anything but the Lemieux there, Tom?
Not too much.
There's not a Lemieux stuff in there at all there.
Well, there's Lemieux things, but they're general Lemieux
Yeah.
things.
Very, very little history, that's why I'm trying to find out where we came from.
Well, Frank's mother was Elizabeth Nessy.
Right.
That's right.
Right. That's why I said we all came from the same people here.
Were these Elizabeth's parents, or was there another generation in between?
No, those are Elizabeth's parents.
Okay. So Elizabeth and that's Terence, right?
That's Terence.
Okay. So Elizabeth and Mary Jane were sisters.
Sisters. Frank's mother and my grandmother are sisters.
Got it.
What if St. Terence hadn't collected all that stuff?
If she did,
I brought over, I think, everything that she had.
I haven't got it now. Let's see if I can find it.
So how did your father react when you started to become a nun? Was he pleased? Was there much discussion, or was it just
No. See, I came as a boarder to the fit farm up here with the old today. And I guess during that year, I just decided to go home. I think that was home at Easter told. I had to ask his permission. I must have given it, but it wasn't so. And because I know too that before I could make confession, I had to write, he had to sign a paper to say that I was related to. So I guess it's, I wanted to.
Were you homesick though when you left?
Almost died.
Oh.
I had the lonesome.
So you were allowed to come home for visits?
No,
No?
I didn't come home. I was sent to Westport to the convent that 2 years later, after I lived there, 3 years later. And I had permission to work on one day. And that was a big permission that the Spirit there gave me. And that's all. The only permission really was to go home with their parents who had died. But then in those days, that's what we changed it. So I wasn't home very much. Maybe when I spoke to Westport, depending on the spirit there, but I could go for the day. And then I stayed at home for 3 nights to allow because he was died. And then I was supposed to leave to go back to the waterhouse. His father Clare, and he was passed up tonight. And I would go to the school to say goodbye to him and little St. Clair that morning. And then during the morning, I was asked for the phone at home. I was going to go straight from home, but the phone was to take the train. And Mother St. Clair telephoned me. She said, I'm going to speak in French because you're partly right. People must be mad to die. And she told me that she had phoned Montreal, Ottawa, and that I had permission to stay on until Papa died, but I had to come back to the convent at night.
Oh, I see.
So I got it out of another week or a week and a half. He died on the 19th, so somewhere along there. So she said that when I said goodbye at the school, he said that that was a disgrace if I were going home. I was at summer school, I wasn't teaching. And I said that was a real disgrace, because she didn't phone, he would. So
My goodness.
Mother said Clare phone, and got permission to stay on. So that's how it was supposed to be done. So then, since then we can, I could now, I get permission to come over here every time here, even if I didn't have the parental needs. So this is how I can come here. Because when Anne died, see, I had gone back to, I was here a year, and then they opened the new English college and the other house, and then asked me to go back. When I was here a year when Anne died, or something. And mother was bishop at the time. Sister Karen, they said to me that I should come back to them. That's how I get back to my dear.
Well, I should have a table, but I don't.
Oh.
I'll take some of the books and stuff away. If you just take your cup out.
Oh, okay.
I didn't give you a spoon. You take sugar, milk?
Just milk, that's fine.
I have to get a little fast, but I can't tell this is very bad.
Thank you.
There's lots of money.
John?
Oh no, that one's yours, is it?
No, I have mine.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
No milk?
No, thank
Take sugar. You get your sugar?
you. Just the sugar. Yeah, I've got the sugar.
Anybody have another cookie? Those chocolate biscuits, one's never enough. I don't think.
Oh, I'll try.
Chocolate one.
John?
One right here, my tea.
But there's nothing in there about Lemieux at all?
There's a few things.
Very little. Very, very little.
Sometimes the most helpful things are the little handwritten notes off to the corner that people forget about.
The man in Sudbury wrote to me and asked me about the history, and I sent him whatever history I had. But I don't know who he was. I lost his address, and I even wrote to the mayor of Sudbury to find out if he could find out who it was who had asked me for they're trying to write up a history of the mayor of Sudbury. And somehow they got in touch with the lawyer there in Sudbury, so they traced it down here. So I sent him the information I had. But I haven't got it now, and I can't find his address. So he said he'd get in touch with him, and he would get in touch with me, but I never did hear. I went even praying I'd find something on these places.
When her Mary, her brother was dying, Father Lemieux, of other nations, he was a very nice chap, very pious. And when he was dying, I was with Sister Donna, the chaplain at Lemieux. So she said to lean over to him, she said, Father Ignatius, is there anything you'd like to say? Is there anything you'd like? And I think she thought he was going to say something pious for all eternity. And she couldn't understand. So she said, well, he said, John, listen. So I bent down and I said, Father, is there anything you'd like? And I understood something but coffee.
He said, anyway.
I looked up and I said, I think he wants coffee. And he said, Maxwell House coffee. As strong as could be. So I started to laugh. And the nurse, as soon I said, the nurse understood. She ran to get the Maxwell House coffee. And when I was laughing so hard, I had to come up to the room. And Father, I met the Father Superior and then with the priest in charge of the infirmary. So I told him that I didn't look to be a very mourning relative. And they said that he went every night. That's the last thing he took for him to bed at night was a cup of Maxwell House coffee.
Oh, that's nice.
A lucky man, he could.
So you kept in touch with the Donahue relatives even after your mother died?
Not for a long time, though. We did